just continue laying out your parts. This piece here is the kind of main fuselage, I guess you would call it, or nose section. Again, taking several cuts to trim it out. A lot of the Depron I get has kind of a natural bend to it. You'll see this is just half. This fuselage section is actually made of two 6mm Depron pieces put together. This red piece you see here is a template. I've just used this from another plane. I like the shape of the nose section, so I just kind of trace it and use that. Notice the bend. I try and do two opposite bends on the Depron so that when you glue them together it makes for a nice straight nose. I just use a pretty liberal amount of glue here, glue the two halves together. You see it's nice and straight. And then just use a light sanding to make all the edges nice and round before you end up putting paint on it. Then you continue by cutting out the elevons. A little bit of sanding. As you cut each piece, you just want to sand it, make sure it's nice and smooth. A quick test fit of the elevons against the airframe itself. This is just a piece of wood with a piece of sandpaper tacked to it that I can kind of sand the slot, open it up a bit so that the fuselage will slide in. In this scene here, what I'm doing is I'm using the motor and the motor mount to mark out and cut a notch. This is kind of a tricky section. You may have to watch this a few times to get it to work, but you have to remove a bit of material. Some people mount their motor to the top of the surface, and that's fine too. The little triangle I'm cutting out is for the prop nut. These are the bottom runners. And vertical stabilizers. Two of those, obviously. This little template sets the angle. You can do it with a sander. I usually do it on a bandsaw with the table set to the angle that I need. This helps you to set the angle on the fuselage. This piece I'm cutting out here isn't in the plan. It could be any shape you want, but I just use it, and you'll see where I apply it later. But I cut two of these out, and I use these to help reinforce the motor mount area under the wing. And I'll show you where I glue those on later after they're painted. Just use one for the template to cut the other. This is a motor mount doubler I'm making. Just a kind of a rough piece of Depron 6mm glued to another piece. Once it's dry, then I just use a hobby knife and cut it. So now I have two 6mm layers. That'd be 12mm. You want to make this the width of your motor mount. Essentially, it's a piece that sits on top of the airframe, kind of in front of the motor mount, just to give it a little bit more support. And I'm just kind of rounding it, giving it a little shape. So there you can see the two pieces, the motor mount doublers. All those white pieces are going to get painted yellow for this model. In this section, you kind of have to remove some more of the fuselage to allow the motor mount to fit in. And this is kind of a tricky part too. Hopefully you can see how it goes together here. I'm using this piece of scrap Depron, which is 6mm, same as the black that you see there. It's giving me an idea of where the wing is going to sit. I like to try and center that center hole of the motor mount so that the center of the prop is dead center with the center line of the wing section. So that's the motor mount. That's how it starts to get glued. It's going to get glued in place right there. I usually glue it in after I paint it. Everybody does hinges differently. Most people use tape hinges for these, and I think that works just fine, but I always prefer the CA hinges. Just for me, they seem pretty sturdy. So I use some 3/8 tape. Tape up the sections and then cut a nice little slit, and then you can see where each side where the hinge is going to need to be recessed into the pieces. And once those are cut, I slide the hinge into place, just do some test fits, make sure everything's going to fit. Nothing's going to be attached right now. I always paint all my parts before I glue them together. I'm lazy, I hate painting. So you can see how those will fit together. Usually when doing a hinge like this, you want to try and taper or bevel the edges so that they meet kind of flush and tight, but you still get movement distances out of them. Otherwise, you may not have as much travel if you have that sharp 90-degree corner.